leopards in the second, third, and fourth grade. In other words, my big kids. It is time to create that final project from our Felix book because Felix's last location was Florida before he came home to his Sophie in Ohio. We are going to create some Florida sea glass bowls. Now, before you think, Mrs. Billman, how will we take a field trip to Florida, the whole second, third, and fourth grade? How will we get sea glass? We're gonna create sea glass that's fake. And we're gonna do that by also helping the planet. The cafeteria has been very generous to us in the past, and that's happened once again. They have what are called dome lids. You might have seen these from a restaurant like Starbucks on top of a Frappuccino, but they can't use these in the cafeteria anymore. I have enough for everyone in the second, third, and fourth grade. So this plastic is our fake glass, and we're gonna make it into colorful sea glass by using Sharpies. Now, you folks working from home, please don't panic that you're not here in the art room and don't have the equipment, because the equipment is available for pickup in the office. You will find in a bag a bowl and a variety of cool colored Sharpies. And cool colors are, of course, the colors of water, which Florida happens to be surrounded by ocean water, where one would find sea glass. It's usually in this combination of colors, the cool temperature colors of blue, green, and purple. Will you have exactly the same Sharpies that I have? Maybe not if you're working from home. You may have these same colors if you're working in the art room. I have quite a variety. So by the end, your sea glass should look about like this, and you'll get a better picture of it in a moment. But I want to show you how to begin. This process takes a while. Artists, please do not, whether you are working in the art room or at home, please do not try to get this done in one art class. It will be too sloppy because it will be too quickly done, and it very likely will smear, which Sharpies shouldn't. You need to give them just a couple seconds of dry time, and then they will not go anywhere. And while we're speaking of Sharpies, I need to caution you if you're working from home or if you have regular markers in your art box, you must not use anything but Sharpies on this project. No other marker works. It needs to be permanent. Your art box markers are not. Whether they're Crazy Art, Rose Art, or Crayola, they are not permanent. So it must be done with these. Therefore, let's get started with a little pattern creation on our form. Please remember the difference between shape and form. A shape is flat, like this piece of paper. It's a rectangle. A form is three-dimensional. It is not flat. So you would not call this a half circle. You would call it a half sphere or a half dome. Let's get a better look by moving the camera. As you know from the past videos, there's going to be a moment that looks kind of earthquake-like. For that, I apologize. The video will also get louder when I move my camera. The microphone is closer to me. So you are viewing your bowl from the top down into the bowl. I'm going to turn it so that you can see. The design looks somewhat like camo. If you found sea glass, it would be oddly shaped. Therefore, you're not restricted to certain shapes when you are creating your sea glass bowl. Because I want you to be able to see the colors well, I have this white piece of paper here. I'm going to start with my darkest color option, and I started with my bowl turned upside down because it was a little easier for me to control my marker. I'm going to start with a nice big chunk of sea glass that's almost circular, and I'm going to get it colored in very well. Artists, there's a good chance my camera is shaking a bit, and I apologize. It is attached to the table upon which I am working, and as I color and shake the table a little bit, I think it might be shaking the camera, so I hope I'm not making you seasick. If you are trying this at home, if you have some plastic that was donated or that you want to use in a different way so that you're being kind to the planet instead of having plastic end up in the trash, make sure you're using permanent markers. My favorite are Sharpies, but the company Bic makes a Sharpie type marker called Marks a Lot. Those are permanent as well. You can use those if you wish. Just make sure it's not Crayola, Rose Art, anything that's water-based. It has to be permanent. This green is not coloring in as solidly as I like, so I'm going over it a couple times, but now is when I warn you. If you go over dry Sharpie with Sharpie that's wet, it will remove itself. It is so strange. So now that this blue is dry, I'm not gonna color it again, because if I do, the new Sharpie will remove some of the old Sharpie color. And of course, I don't want that. So I'm gonna move on to the next cool color and see this weird, funky space right here between these two half circles. I'm gonna turn that into part of my sea glass, and I'm just gonna make an almost circle that has a strange side on it that just goes between my circles I've already drawn. Folks, there's a reason my big kids are doing this project. It is not easy to draw on something rounded, even if your pattern doesn't matter and there's no specific way to create your pattern. It's still a challenging thing to do. That's why we need to take our time, and that's why my biggest kids are doing this project. I'm not gonna require really young, new artists to try something like this. Once you cover your bowl with color, which you can see is a lengthy process, you will have decided, because you will have had lots of time to think about it, how you want to color the rim or the edge. I added polka dots of sea glass colors. You might want to color in the rim completely. You might want to find a way to decorate this that I left clear. Once this project is finished, this is a great thing to keep near the sink in the bathroom or the kitchen for when you decide that you're gonna help mom and dad by hand washing those special pots and pans or something like that. It's a great place to keep your special rings so they don't fall somewhere dangerous, like down the drain. It's also a great place to keep small things in the bathroom because it's waterproof, it's plastic, and permanent marker is waterproof as well. So my artists, I hope you see how this turns out beautifully, but the time it takes is definitely more than one art visit. Also, I hope you see why this must be permanent, otherwise it will just wipe off and you will have no color left on your plastic. When we are here in the art room, you will put your name on a piece of tape that will go inside the bowl. If you're working from home, you of course don't need to do that. So that's how we'll have our name on things. That's how we'll accomplish this last Felix book project. And I wish you good luck and smart art.